Even though I reject the chaotic and disorganized Gregorian calendar as the ideal way of structuring modern society, Happy New Year! Hello kindred longevity lifestyle designers, this is Zach, your secrets of longevity.com. So it's a new year, and it is a time for new habits, new goals, and changing your life around. So even though technically you should be ready at any point in your life, any time of year, to really reverse things around and make changes for the better, people take this time of year as a landmark way of sort of saying, I'm going to change this about myself as a New Year's resolution. Increasingly, I do see people getting less and less accepting of that and actually following through on that, because realistically, you can't make these half-assed tries or attempts at creating change without actually setting the goal and being clear and direct with yourself. So if you're wanting to work out more, instead of just saying at 10 to midnight, I'm going to exercise more and be more productive in the gym, you should be purchasing a program, scheduling in with a personal trainer, doing something that actually gets you going towards that goal. Or maybe it's as simple as, you have enough knowledge on exercise that you can write out a plan for what exercises you do each day of the week and what time you're going to be doing them and other things like that. So the more detailed you get with yourself, the more likely you are to follow through with that goal or that plan. And that's really the major key with succeeding with your goals and your plans. And what this video is about is sort of how you can, even now in the first week of January, you could even do this a month from now, it doesn't matter, or any time. These are some habits that I've picked up that really have been effective for me in creating change, and I've sort of just been working on a revision of them coming up to this New Year's, and then also I'm going to be working on them a bit next day or two, finalizing things and really filling up my calendar with the major goals of my year. So obviously I'm not going to plan every single meal for the whole year or anything that detailed, but perhaps in my mind I'm going to be wanting to start perhaps doing some live events. This is just me talking personally here. Or maybe I want to put on X number of pounds of muscle in my workouts. So I have to actually create an action step plan of getting to that point. So what I'm going to show you is just a few things I've put together that work for me personally, and kind of gives you this insight to my business and my work I do day to day. So perhaps you'll be able to adopt some of these habits, perhaps some of them will just inspire you to sort of do something similar but in your own way, and yeah, I hope it's helpful. So the first thing I wanted to show you was just what I've got posted on the back of my door here. These are some affirmations that was actually inspired by Steve Pavlina. Some of you might know his blog, which is just his self-titled name. You can always check out stevepavlina.com for, I guess the name of his blog is Personal Development for Smart People. It's a lot of great tips and things on there. I occasionally take visits there. And yeah, basically this is the back of my bedroom door. I'm going to also put these same affirmations on in my office once it's all totally set up. So it's just 4 pieces of paper with different affirmations on them. I'm extremely productive. Then an acronym, what's important now. I'm going to skip that one, just more personal stuff on that one. I write the equivalent of 2 to 3 pages of copy per day. My career comes first. I cultivate a sense of urgency. Work will expand to fill available time. So the great thing about those is that they are little snippets that I've had up on my wall in the past. And in this new apartment, I've just posted them on the back of my bedroom door because, you go in and out of your door, especially your bedroom door, frequently throughout the day, and that serves as a reminder, seeing that there. You can put goals of specifics, whether it's like a monetary goal, you want to make a certain amount per month, or you have a goal of how much you want to attain in some other quantitative quality. But you can also just do those general ones, which are good things to keep in mind and really internalize, So the one, for example, the last one I showed you there, work will expand to fill available time. If you're familiar with, or you follow any sort of productivity gurus or anyone that sort of gives advice in that realm, you might have heard that one before. So say you have a whole day free to do whatever it is you need to do, but you don't actually schedule things in to organize and work with your time, it's more likely that you'll do a certain number of things and they'll take way more time than they need to actually take. So by scheduling and really being rigorous with yourself about, I've got 2 hours to do this project, and then at the end of that 2 hours, I definitely have to get on to the next thing. You'll be better at doing it if you schedule in that time. So actually that one ties into the next thing I'm going to talk about, but we'll get to that in a sec. And another one, there's that one that was above it, I cultivate a sense of urgency. These are things that I want to internalize myself to help myself to become more productive. So a sense of urgency, I don't mean like being stressed out. I mean, perhaps I'm writing a newsletter and I want to just get it done. If I'm dawdling and sort of just taking my time, like, I work for myself, I've got all the time in my world, that's not a very good thing to be thinking about that you're going to be acting upon. So if you have the cultivation, or you actually work on being more urgent, which is sort of that drive to do things quickly but efficiently, then you might be more successful in that regard. So, like I was saying, another thing that's good to do, that's relating to the last thing I was talking about, is to schedule things in. I've got basically 3 calendars I'm working with. This might be something you want to do, whether it's working with just one or all of these like I do. I have yet to actually purchase the new calendars for 2012, and this is one from last year, but you can see I've got a big sort of thing that I can hang on the wall, calendar. This is handy to have one of these. They're cheap to pick up at like an Office Basics store. And you can write your major things that you have to remember. And the thing about having the whole month on one page that you can see, you put this in your office or put this on the wall in your bedroom or put it anywhere you'll see it regularly, and you can just update it. There's not a ton of space to write stuff in, but you just have the major things like, I've got an appointment at this time today, and you do things accordingly. I've got a deadline that's this day. That way you can easily see from time to time what things are coming up, and it's a reminder when it's there, again, just to do those things and keep working towards those things. The other thing I've gotten into the habit of using is a regular calendar, like sort of a notebook calendar. And this would be one that is more portable, so I wouldn't take that big thing around with me. I'd take this little one just for regular things I'm scheduling. There's a lot more room every day to write stuff in, so one day is one page. So that the benefit of that is like, in a week in advance, you can be more detailed in what you're scheduling, and whereas that, with that big one, you've got, that little narrow space where you're just going to basically be writing major appointments, major things that are happening that you have to do. Maybe perhaps you might fill in, I have to call this person on that day, etc. But with this one, you can write in, because it has sort of the time down the side here, you can write in more specific things like I'm working out at this time, I'm heading out at this time, or else I'm going to be late. I've got to make a phone call by this time before that place closes, etc. And because you have the room to write that in, then it's a lot better to do that. And with planning, you always have to think about planning as doing it in advance. If you're trying to fill out your day the day of, I find you tend to forget to actually even do that, and your day just becomes a chaotic mess of I'm trying to accomplish these things. And same thing with the year. If you try and plan your whole year in terms of the major things, you don't go too specific, like I was saying about planning meals. But if you plan the major things like goals, projects, holidays, if you plan those in advance, things are much more likely to go smoothly, and you can really sort of have a big picture idea of what your year is going to look like. And again, do the same thing. Take time on Sunday or Saturday on the weekend to plan your week, the next 7 days. And then take time the night before the next day, or even evening, nighttime before the next day, to plan out your next day. Don't try and plan your day the morning of or the middle of the day that you're trying to scramble around to get organized. Write out the list of things you have to do. And so that could go for any of those major things. So the year before, the month before, the week before, the day before, you can think of those 4 things and write down the lists, write down the goals, write down the projects, write down the major appointments, and schedule those in. And you'll be amazed at how much more productive and efficient you'll be with your time and your ability to be organized. So I hope that is a big thing for people. I know personally at one point in my life I was very much anti being that type A personality type of person. However, I quickly learned when starting my own business and doing my own things that I really had to cultivate those qualities of that type A personality. Being very type B, I was the kind of person in high school, for instance, who would sit back and literally lean back with their feet up almost on the desk, or at least on the edge. Different teachers would have different reactions to me, but I was extremely the very relaxed, not a care in the world type of person. But that in itself can be stressful if you don't have the means to be able to accomplish the things that you know you need to do and want to do. So you need to start adopting these qualities and sort of adopt a balance of the type A, type B personality. The stress relieved, the calm, the collected side of the type B personality with the organized, productive, and focused side of the type A personality. And you can bring those 2 beneficial qualities together and let go of the, typical type A person is more likely to be stressed out and have those problems that people associate with the stereotype of the type A, and you can let go of those, let go of the stereotypes of the type B, and just get the positive of both the A and B, and you'll be well on your way to being more fulfilled in life in general, and of course that's going to be better for your health. So the third type of calendar that I'm using and intending to use more often in 2012, because I had sort of fallen behind on using that, but I think it's a great tool, is sort of an online calendar. So a calendar you can access through your email. Like the best one I think is Gmail, Google Calendar. If you have a Gmail account or a Google account, you'll be able to access that. And the benefit of that is that you can, if you ever lose your calendar, so specifically if you were to lose this calendar for any reason, you've got all your stuff that you would set out in this already in that calendar. So keep a double thing of that. If you have like an iPhone and or any other smartphone that you can keep a calendar on with all the stuff that you need, this might be redundant. I personally don't have one at this point, and I value having the calendar on the computer that I can access from other places if I happen to have not brought this with me. And then I also like to have a hard copy version that I take in my backpack to meetings or anything, so that if I have something that comes up and I need to book something with someone, I just write it in. And I can also see, if someone's saying, let's meet 2 weeks from now again, then I can look right then and there and see, oh, I've got stuff happening that day, let's do it a different day. If I had a phone that I could access that on, or any other sort of device, then obviously that would be a good thing, but use those different methods to keep track and organize your life to the best point possible, and really drill in that habit of keeping stuff in your calendar and regularly getting detailed in organizing your life in that way, and you'll see big changes in your productivity, what you accomplish, what you remember. You stop forgetting dates and stuff, which can be a hassle. One more thing is having a plan for your habits and goals on a day-to-day basis that's set up in advance. So I'm talking about your personal practice, the things that keep you in line with your health practices, whether it's exercise, diet, or other lifestyle habits. So for example, below the goals that I have, like I showed you already, that are on those pieces of paper that are on the back of my door, I have this one paper that's down here that my intention is to look at regularly. I'm also going to post this in another place in my house. But I've got my waking routine that I do immediately upon awakening. I must, in my mind, follow this order of things. And then I have my retiring routine, or what I do as I'm getting ready for bed, or shortly sometime in the evening. So basically I look at schedule, task list, and routine. So that's like, as I wake up, the first thing I do is look at my calendar, which would be that thing down there, and just sort of review the day and really make sure I'm about to do the things that I need to do, and I'm not going to be squandering my time in the morning doing things that aren't productive. Then I go on and I do some other things. Yeah, I'm just going to sort of scan through. You basically see like brush teeth. There's some exercises, yoga, meditation, some other things. And I've specifically highlighted here in dark, now turn on computer. Because what I've found is if I turn my computer on and as soon as I wake up and start checking emails and stuff, everything gets chaotic. I start going off on tangents. I don't actually do things that I want to be doing, and pretty soon I've missed my exercise, I've missed my meditation, I've missed eating at the right time, and my whole schedule of the day gets thrown off. So emails then come after that, and then I basically start my work day. So there's the whole day, and then my retiring routine. Again, I've written it out, just a few things, doing various things, flossing, brush teeth, and plan the next day I have at the end, so that I make sure that I start entering into that calendar those things that I definitely need to do if I want to be successful in the next day and optimize my productivity. So I hope that kind of gives you some insight into ways that you can really put things together in 2012 and achieve the things you want to achieve, both health-wise, wealth-wise, and everything in between. You've got the three things. You've got affirmations, things to remind yourself of these positive things that you want to incorporate into your life, qualities and goals of sort of mental attitudes. Then you have your planning and calendar. You want to plan your year in advance, your month in advance, your week in advance, and your days in advance. And you could even plan 10 years in advance. You could start doing that now. You could plan 25 years in advance. You could plan 100 years in advance. If you've got goals of things you want to achieve in 100 years' time, what's the likelihood that you're going to reach that 100-year mark? Maybe you're 30 right now and you say, I'm going to achieve something 100 years from now. In your mind, if you set that goal, you're more likely to reach the age of 130 because you set that goal and you're working towards something. A lot of people talk about people who die of heart attacks and things within a year or two of retiring. So people live a life of having goals in their career, etc., and then they retire and they don't have anything to do. They have a lack of a feeling of being needed in the world and having a purpose. And so when they retire and no longer have a purpose, their body starts to decay and crumble away. So you set that goal and intention of having something that you need to achieve then. Down the road, 100 years from now, you're going to still be around to achieve it. I can assure you that. Then, of course, you also have planning out the day so that you have a practice that you really focus on and keep to. You can get specific with dietary programs and all that. That's the idea of working with someone to help set something like that up. And I can always do this with you in a personal one-on-one consultation. You can find links for that below. We can always work together to sort of plan anything out like this to do. I'm well versed in nutritional programs, exercise programs, or basically motivational programs to help you get sort of on track with things if you want to bounce some ideas off me. And I might give you some tasks that I think would benefit you in helping you get what it is you need out of this next year, out of life in general. And I hope this video, and also perhaps down the road a consultation with you, could be something that could really elevate you to really start achieving that next level of productivity and health in your life. Also, I just want to remind you that there's still a sale going on at Surthrival until January 7th. You can save 10% off of any of their products before the price of shipping by entering the coupon code New Year. And that is without a space between new and year. And you enter that in at the final stage at some point. And that gets you the savings. They have two new products you should check out. One is the Platinum Elk Antler, which also has tribulus, and the unique combination of and synergy of those two herbs working together is that you have an increase in SOD production, which is superoxide dismutase, as well as glutathione, two of the most important antioxidants in your body for long-term sustainable longevity. Then there's also the Pine Pollen Pure Potency, which is a new product as well. It's pine pollen mixed with nettle root, as well as some Siberian ginseng, and those are some great androgens that will really ramp up free testosterone levels in the body. So check those out, read about them on the site, get your old favorite products as well, and save the 10% until about January 7th. So with that, check out the links below. Check out the subscription button if you've never clicked that before. Click like and favorite the video. Share it with friends and family if you found it particularly inspiring. And yeah, let me know what you think by commenting below. So with that, take care and embrace life without limits in this upcoming year. Got my sample shot glass here and brain on E3 Live. Let's see if we can get this in here. How much is in there? Just melted enough for a shot, half ounce. Then, I'm gonna go over here to my little stash of stuff. This is a way to ring in the ear. Oh man, bloody, I'll take the cap off of it. Happy New Year! Oh my god, I'm so sorry I didn't get to you guys sooner about this sale. Also with E3 Live, you can save 20% off if by entering the coupon code 2011. No, holidays 2011. You can see that up there. No spaces. And I wish I had known about this sooner. I would have mentioned it when it started, but it's good till January 2nd, so if you see this basically the day it's posted, then you have maybe like 24 hours to grab yourself a case of E3 Live perhaps. And 20% is a big amount when you consider the investment that a whole case of E3 Live would be. You just have to stock up your freezer and you're good for the year pretty much. This is that painting that I had in my other video the other day. I can't even, pretty big. I did this in like grade 12 art. There's a little guy doing a downward dog pose. But yeah, it was fun to make. I actually made the frame without even knowing I was going to make this shape. I was just kind of putting it together and suddenly realized it's kind of like the shape of a cup, and that's kind of weird. It's titled Digging. Does it have the date? December 04. So that's when this was done. Wow. That's a good, it's actually further back. I guess that's 7 years ago now. Holy smokes. 2012. I guess December 2011. I just realized the music that I had in the background while shooting that last clip was a friend of mine who just posted some awesome tracks on her SoundCloud. You gotta check this out. SoundCloud.com/KikiKannibal. I'll post it on screen because I know the resolution isn't that good. But she just released this EP literally like maybe 2 hours ago. And her main page, she has 2 EPs out now. Both awesome. My favorite song on this one is Space Vampires. So good. Why is it not playing? Go! Dubstep, electro stuff. Check her out. You can check the link below as well to get the clickable link. So you can see it on the screen there. And her stuff's pretty cool. Thanks for putting it out, Kiki. Kirsten. My New Year's resolution is to wear less socks.